As I indicated at the outset, part of what can make this partnership powerful is that in addition to the member states, we are actively encouraging the partnership with civil society organizations. And so to close out this session, I'd like to hear from Mr. RAKESH Rajani.
Thank you, President Obama, President Youssef, Your Excellencies, fellow civil society members, ladies and gentlemen. In a world marked by so much turmoil, we need open governments to build trust and to revitalize the social compact between citizens and states. Openness can bring governments and citizens together, cultivate shared understandings, and help solve our everyday practical problems. It starts with sharing information. We heard today that Norway's enormous oil wealth is managed as a public asset whose revenues are transparent to all. Openness will be key to turning natural resource wealth from a curse to a blessing for many millions, particularly in my continent, Africa. In Mexico, when the civil society group Fundar showed that health services were not reaching women, clinics were not open, and medicines that were meant to be free were anything but, the Ministry of Health made concrete reforms to save lives. Across Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, Uwezo, a citizen-led survey of almost 200,000 households, has demonstrated that children still lack basic literacy and numeracy skills despite being in school, despite billions of dollars of investments. These findings are now helping governments and citizens and parents to improve learning outcomes in education. The US government's data.gov site not only makes 300,000 data sets public, it invites users to design applications to mash data, see patterns, and create new knowledge that it could have never done on its own. In London and New York, Nairobi and Haiti, platforms such as Ushahidi, Fix My Street, and 311 are enabling citizens to get city councils to fix potholes and broken streetlights, to track health stockouts, and relieve supplies. Still, to be meaningful to citizens, information needs to be accessible locally. In India, MKSS has democratized access to spending data by painting it on over 100,000 community walls in the state of Rajasthan alone. Ordinary citizens audit public records to verify whether salary registers are real or fake, and whether reported infrastructure actually exists. In the state of Andhra Pradesh, citizen audits have uncovered fraud and theft of over $25 million, of which a fifth has already been recovered. Citizen involvement has proven to be so useful that the Comptroller and Auditor General of India has called for social audits to be conducted across the country. However, as important as saved dollars are, the true power of open government may be its effect on the public imagination. When citizens monitor what's going on, make comparisons, and act, they gain a sense of purpose and control, a sense not only that things happen to us, but that we can make things happen, a poignant affirmation that we are part of the narrative of history. In fact, citizens are making change happen every day at an unprecedented scale and pace. The recent events of the Arab Spring attest to this. Elsewhere, too, people are agitating for dignity and livelihood, from the walks to work in Uganda, to the hunger fast to stop corruption in India, from the rappers satirizing for life presidents in Senegal, to the protesters outside my Wall Street hotel room this morning demanding jobs. Open communication also heightens aspirations. No longer are people willing to bear it, remain silent in the face of humiliations, and indefinitely defer their dreams. Ideas travel. We see how others live and make a difference. We wonder, if they can do it, why can't we? We learn lessons, we make meaning, we craft tools, we organize, we act. For governments that wish to maintain established order, these developments are worrying, but they cannot be wished away, and in fact, they provide all of us a powerful opportunity for change. For open government is the most apt response to the democratic human impulse to be involved, to count, to matter. Excluding people breeds resentment and suspicion and anger. In contrast, creating open societies where citizens can freely access and share data and ideas and choose their leaders and hold them to account creates a sense of belonging and gives people a stake in public affairs and in politics. Openness makes it easier to engender trust, legitimacy, and responsibility, and it is harder to be cynical. Take the constitutions of South Africa and Kenya. Among the greatest such documents in the world, born out of contexts of violence and deep inequities, they were forged through struggle and exhaustive, open public engagement. Today, despite persistent tensions in both those countries, these constitutions are helping create fairer societies, upholding the best part of our ideals and guarding against our baser instincts. So, Presidents, ladies and gentlemen, the course of human progress is never straightforward, but the human spirit is such, with our curiosity to know, our impulse to speak out, our tenacity to get things done despite the odds, and our deep-rooted desire for freedom and dignity, that in the end we will settle for nothing less than open government. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rakesh, for that wonderful testimony. Thank you all to the leaders who shared their action plans and the steps that they're taking and your willingness to participate in this initiative. We are extraordinarily grateful. As I said earlier, today is just the beginning of this partnership. Those who are the founding members have to go back home and work to meet the commitments that we've made and to be held accountable. The 38 nations joining us today will be working on their own action plans, and we look forward to our next meeting in Brazil next year when our partnership welcomes more countries who share our commitment to open government. I want to thank all the participants. I particularly want to thank the civil society organizations that are doing extraordinary work. I very much appreciated the statement by the representative from the United Kingdom that this is not always comfortable if done right, because governments are human institutions, which means that even with the best of intentions, we are flawed and we make mistakes. And it's a natural human impulse to try to cover up mistakes and to resist the kind of openness that's been discussed here today. But as Rakesh, I think, said so well, the more open we are, the more willing we are to hear constructive criticism, the more effective we can be. And ultimately, governments are here to serve the people, not to serve those in power. And so I'm very grateful for all of you for participating. Thank you for embracing this challenge to make sure our governments are as open and accountable and as effective as they can be so that we can meet the aspirations of all our citizens. Thank you very much.